Okay. Hello, everyone. Let us know in the chat when you can see and hear us fine, please. Or send us thumbs ups or hearts, whatever you want. Just let us know that you can see and hear us. Welcome to our webinar. I see a heart coming through. Another one. Thank you. Good morning, Clive. Thank you everyone for joining. Today we have Jade from TrueBlue Bay that's coming to give us an amazing presentation about a property that I wish I was on right now. So thank you so much for joining, Jade, and it's all you.
Thank you for having me. Welcome everyone. Hope everyone's in the Christmas spirit. I did put my jumper on today because I'm feeling very festive myself. So let's go ahead and share my screen. We will be asking a question at the end of this as well. So somebody can have the chance to win a £50 prize loaded to their TrueBlue Bay Rewards account. So listen very carefully as one of you will get the chance to win that. Okay.
Perfect. We can see your screen.
Brilliant. Okay, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to the TrueBlue Bay webinar today. So some of you may or may not have heard of TrueBlue Bay Resort in Grenada. It is a wonderful 4-star family-run and operated boutique hotel in Grenada, and I'm really so happy to be talking to you about this today. But firstly, to introduce myself, for those that don't know me, my name is Jade and I do look after TrueBlue Bay in Grenada. So please do make sure you've made a note of my details, but not to worry, we will send a detailed follow-up with all of the hotel information as well as mine as well. But please do reach out to me if you ever need anything at all for TrueBlue Bay. So it's always good to start with a video about Grenada itself. I think a lot of people haven't really necessarily been to Grenada, and it's a very different Caribbean island. So let's start with that and explore Grenada first. So as you can see from that video, it's such a diverse island. There's beaches, there's rainforest, there's waterfalls, there's chocolate, there's so much different things that are going on. So Grenada really is a good destination for those that kind of want that Caribbean escape with lots of options to explore as well. It's very good for diving. So if anybody has any diving clients, we truly have some of the best dive spots in the Caribbean, particularly the Underwater Sculpture Park that's very, very famous in Grenada as well. So just a couple of points in terms of weather. It's an amazing temperature year round, 28 degrees Celsius at a minimum. So if anybody's looking to travel kind of over the winter months, it really is a great destination for that. And on to flight schedule. So from the UK, we're very fortunate in terms of airlift. It's very, very good for the tiny island that it is. So Virgin Atlantic have 2 flights a week out of Heathrow via Barbados. And British Airways have 3 flights a week that alternate between St Lucia and Antigua, depending on the departure day. This also makes for very good twin centres. We find that they're becoming very popular again. So if somebody wanted to fly with British Airways, stay in St Lucia and then head over to Grenada, it's very easy to do. We recently booked this for a colleague for a trip, and the add-on from St Lucia to Grenada was about £160 return. So it's a really affordable way to factor in doing a twin centre with some other islands as well. And speaking of other islands, Grenada is very fortunate that the Grenada is really 3 islands in one destination. So the neighbouring islands of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Although Hurricane Beryl did impact those islands, Grenada was very fortunate when that happened, but the islands are kind of in recovery mode. They're making good progress, but it's just good to be aware that in a normal situation without Hurricane Beryl, it's really easy to jump on a boat and go and explore these other Caribbean islands that are so close by. So on to True Blue Bay. I love to start with the slide of the owners themselves. So you can see here in this top photo, so you have mum and dad, Ross and Magdalena, their two daughters, Marie and Renata, and their granddaughter, Leela. The family have owned the hotel since 1998, and when they bought it, it was called True Blue Inn, and it had just 7 rooms. So it was a tiny hotel with just 7 rooms, and it now is a 70-room hotel that we know it as today as True Blue Bay Grenada. I love the history of the resort actually. So when the hotel was purchased, it was a former indigo plantation, hence the name. Blue happens everywhere, and even some of our room categories are called indigo rooms. Now, an indigo plantation was a plantation that grew the crop that made the colour blue. So that was very heavily used in textiles for clothing. It was used as like a natural food colouring in foods. So it was a really interesting history to the plantation that was before it became a resort. And we will start with a very short video to introduce you to True Blue, and then we will dive into some further details. So before we dig into this map, just a couple of points about the hotel. So we are a 4-star property located in St George's. So we're about 10 minutes from Grenada International Airport, Maurice Bishop Airport. So it's a very short transfer. And we offer bed and breakfast is included in the standard rates. We then offer a half-board meal supplement and an all-inclusive option as well. So there is something for everybody in terms of meal plans. And I think the beauty of this hotel is that it's a very authentic concept. So when you're at True Blue, you know that you're in Grenada. You feel that you're in Grenada. You feel that throughout the resort, and it's a really authentic experience. I also feel that it being family run just really brings that extra special, warm, inviting feeling. So the family actually live right next door to the property, the Fielden family, but they are in the resort every day. They all have their own jobs, but they all do a bit of everything. So you will see the owners even sometimes down at breakfast, serving food even, and they're just really hands-on. And, you know, the hotel is what it is because it's a family. They are the heart and soul of that property. So let's look at the map then. So we're 70 rooms, but we're quite spread out, surprisingly. So you come off of the main road here to reception. And just to note from this main road, we're right next to the university, St George's University. So when you come out of the resort and turn left, you have got an array of restaurants and bars before you kind of get into that main town area of St George's. So again, it's a really good location for anybody that wanted to get out on foot, explore some of the local things to do, and then come back to the hotel. So reception area is here. We've got our restaurant here, which sits on the water, which is wonderful, called Dodgy Dock. And then in terms of accommodation, they're very cleverly put into their own blocks. So if you're in the leading rooms, you'll be in this section and this section. and our villas are located here, and our Cocoa Pod suites and rooms are located here. So if you're in a certain accommodation, you kind of can't get lost, you know where you are. We then have our waterfront suites that are along the water here, and it's quite well done. So if you're staying in a Cocoa Pod here to the left of the resort, we have actually got this walkway that takes you straight to the restaurant area, so you haven't got to come, all the way back round on yourself. So in terms of facilities, we have 4 different swimming pools, very different style of pools actually. We've got a very quiet pool, which is where you'd kind of hang out if you wanted to read a book and just do a swim. We do have an actual lap pool as well for those that did just want to swim. We have a children's pool, which is shallow at all areas, so that's really great for families. And then we have our main pool, which is right by the bar and the beachfront area. We have a yoga studio, a House of Chocolate bakery. Now, this is a lovely addition on property. So, in the mornings when you're staying at True Blue, you wake up to this wonderful smell of nutmeg that's being cooked into these cakes and pastries. So, it's a really nice, different smell than to what we'd be used to in the bakeries here for sure. And they're also very famous for their nutmeg ice cream, which I definitely recommend if you come and stay with us. We offer non-motorised water sports, so hobby cats, kayaks, and snorkeling equipment free of charge. And we have a beach on property, but everybody knows and loves the Grand Anse Beach in Grenada, which we're not far from. So we'll talk about that a bit later, how guests can explore some different beaches. We have a dive centre on property, a spa. We have 2 bars, 1 restaurant, and the puzzle represents our new games room, escape room that we added to the property last year. So, being family owned and run, the Fieldens are always looking at ways to introduce new activities and concepts for families to enjoy together. So, we now have an escape room called Blackbeard's Brig, and that is an activity that families and groups of friends can enjoy together. So we also recently introduced a new bar area into True Blue, and what we've done with this concept is made a thing called turn up service. So typically we know turn down service in hotels where your duvet gets set back and you get a lovely chocolate put on your pillow. We've created turn up service instead. So you literally just turn up to the Vibe Bar. You get complimentary rum punch, other drinks and snacks. You get to meet other guests, meet with the hotel management as well. And guests get to enjoy this free of charge before their evening meal or evening activities that they're going to enjoy. And on to added value. So some of the tour operators shy and hide this information away from the fact that this is included in the basic bed and breakfast rate. So it doesn't matter what meal plan or what room you're booking, all of these added values are included for guests. So we offer a daily beach shuttle to 3 beautiful beaches, including Grand Anse Beach. And one of my personal favourites is a beach that's right near Mount Cinnamon called BBC Beach, which I do recommend guests to visit as well. Now, the beauty of these is that we own our own electric vehicles on property. So you arrange this with the front desk, they will drop you off. There's no crazy wait times. You haven't got to wait until 6 o'clock to be brought back from the beach. If you head out in the morning and you want to come back in the afternoon, then just let the hotel know and they'll pick you up when you'd like to be brought back to the hotel. We also offer 2 complimentary yoga classes at our yoga studio, the non-motorised water sports, and a tour of the House of Chocolate. So in St George's downtown, there is a House of Chocolate, and Magdalena, one of the owners, is very passionate about chocolate and the history of that. And she's really done a lot of work in Grenada to just create awareness of the history and the importance of chocolate. Grenada is one of the largest producers of that. And she really encourages people to go into St George's and take that tour of the House of Chocolate, which is included. So it's a nice morning or afternoon out for you to do. And she also created Choc-Fest, which is a really famous festival in Grenada that happens every May. So she is the brains behind this concept. So if you have clients that are really interested into that chocolate concept, then I definitely recommend Choc-Fest that takes place every May. So on to room categories then. So we've only got 70 rooms, which in Grenada makes us a teeny weeny boutique hotel, which is wonderful. So our lead-in rooms are our True Blue rooms, and some of them are named Indigo rooms as well. And they come with a king-size bed or twin beds. Now, every single one of our room categories has some form of a kitchenette. obviously the bigger that the room categories are, the more space they have, the bigger those kitchens become. But these rooms are really great for those that I guess maybe more budget focused. They're not too worried about a fancy waterfront suite. They're just looking for a nice room that's affordable, that caters to everything that they need. What I also love about these rooms is that they do have a lot of floor space. So although contractually you cannot book more than 3 people into these rooms, the hotel understand that families with small children that need an extra bed or extra space, it really isn't a big deal for them to handle that request. So if you'd like to put 4 people into this room and the family are okay with using that floor space to do so, the hotel will actually put in an extra bed for a small child free of charge as well. So onto our Cocoa Pod rooms. These are really wonderful room categories that have won awards. So one of the owners, again, Magdalena, has a real passion for climate change and doing anything that the hotel can to become like a greener hotel that's better for the planet. So these rooms were her idea. They opened in 2019 and they're very good at reusing their own energy. They've got solar water heaters, really low efficient appliances. And like I said, they've won many awards because they were some of the first of their kind in the Caribbean as well. I also love how much the family support local artists. So this wall here is actually been hand painted by a local artist. It looks like wallpaper, but it's so much more than that. So local artists come in to actually paint some of these features in the rooms, and all of the art that you see around the rooms is also bought locally to support local businesses as well. And onto suites. So we have a couple of different types of suites. We've got waterfront suites, which we saw right at the front of the map that are right along the water there. We have Cocoa Pod suites. So they are the same concept as the rooms that we just saw, the Cocoa Pod rooms. Energy efficient, but because it's a suite, you have got a separate living area to the bedroom. We have a honeymoon suite, and then we have our tower suites as well. So all of these suites will take 3 adults and 2 adults and 1 child. No flexibility on the occupancy on these ones, except for the honeymoon suites, which will take 2 adults. We only have one honeymoon suite and it's designed for honeymooners. So of course that will take 2 adults. But any of the suites are really wonderful. They're very spacious because you have got that separate living area and a bigger kitchen compared to the lead-in rooms. And one of my personal favourites, just to point out, is our tower suites. So these rooms are so wonderful on 2 levels. As you walk out to the balcony from the first floor, you have a spiral staircase that takes you up to a viewing platform. And up there, there's some chairs and panoramic views over it feels like you can see all of Grenada up there. It's amazing. So if you're somebody that really enjoys that, kind of open space and peaceful environment, those tower suites are really something quite special that we have. And onto our villas. So these are really, really popular. So we have 5 2-bedroom villas on property, and they are located right at the main pool by the beach and the main bar. So in terms of location, this accommodation is right in the middle of everything. So these are great for larger families. So these will take 2 adults and 4 kids, or five adults and 4 adults and 2 children. And they're split over 2 levels as well. So you walk in on the ground floor, you have your 2 bedrooms and you have your 2 bathrooms downstairs. And then as you come upstairs, you're in this absolutely ginormous front room and kitchen area. So this is a full-size kitchen, a huge living area. You've got the dining table space over here, and you've also got a plunge pool out on the terrace here as well. And what's interesting is if you're upstairs, again, there's a spiral staircase that can take you straight down out to the beach. So if somebody decides to take an afternoon nap, you haven't got to go back downstairs out the front door. You can come out from the top as well. It's also great if you've got families that are traveling that are maybe separate families. You can actually have 2 different key cards for both of the bedrooms. So you can have one that opens the front door for everybody and then 2 that open the bedroom. So they're good for friends that would like to maybe share as well. So these are really, really good for bigger families and groups of friends, as I mentioned. And not only do guests get all of those added values that we spoke about earlier, if anybody is staying in a villa for 7 nights or more, they can choose an additional added value. So they can choose from complimentary 3-day car hire or a dinner cooked by a private chef at an in-villa meal, which is an amazing experience for families to do. All dietary requirements, of course, can be catered for, and the chefs will prepare a meal based on, everything that they need to take into consideration. And it will be a wonderful meal that's cooked and they'll clear up and everything. So it's a really, really nice thing to do. And we also offer adapted rooms on property. So we have a waterfront suite and standard rooms that will that are adapted. So we have walk-in showers, low-rise beds, higher toilets, and just lots of space. So if somebody is a wheelchair user, they can easily move around the room. We are almost 100% fully accessible. We're just still doing some tweaks to the spa and the yoga studio, and that's simply because they're on a first level. So we're just still doing some work on those. And as soon as we've completed that, we will be very happy to say that we'll be 100% accessible friendly. We also have electric golf buggies that we can use for guests that maybe don't want to walk or can't walk very far. So we will make sure they can get to and from everywhere in and around the resort that they need to as well. And on to Dodgy Dock. It sounds like a drunken pirate decided to name this restaurant, doesn't it? So this is our one restaurant that we have on property, and the views here are amazing. So we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You sit right on top of the water there, and you can see amazing things from across the water. And we like to change things up. So having just the one restaurant every night of the week has a different theme. So for dinner, you're never going to eat the same thing twice. So we have a couple of different themes that you can see there. Chocolate Thursdays is always interesting. I recently had a chocolate dinner here on a Thursday night, and I'd actually had chocolate ribs. So that it was like a savoury chocolate sauce that was on top of the ribs. And I had cocoa butter sweet potato mash. So they'd taken the cocoa butter, in the process of making chocolate and turned it into sweet potato mash, which was amazing. So they're really good at using local ingredients, fresh local ingredients as well in their cooking. But most importantly, Street Food Wednesday is one of the most popular things at True Blue on a Wednesday. I always say a night in at True Blue on a Wednesday is actually like a night out. It's the most authentic Grenadian fun experience that you could have, and it's right in the hotel as well. So it's a concept that the hotel came up with. They invite local restaurants and vendors from outside of the property in St George's and surrounding areas inside to cook the most authentic, amazing Grenadian food. So you do have to purchase some raffle tickets for dinner, even if you're on all inclusive. This is a separate concept. And you literally go around and just spend them. They look like carnival tickets, and I think they only cost a couple of dollars each. And one dish is about $5 to put that into perspective. The portions are huge. So if you really want to get a feel for that really authentic Grenadian food, the national dish of Grenada is oil down, and that's always worth trying as well. It's really a great experience. You just walk up and down the rows of food, you take what you fancy, and then once that's finished, there'll be local bands and entertainment that will take the night away with singing and dancing and really local entertainment from really talented singers and groups as well. So I really recommend that. Due to how the flight schedules work, always say try not to let anyone depart on a Wednesday. Try and get the flights that come in on a Saturday so that guests can really experience this amazing concept. And just to touch on that a little bit more here, so you can just see a couple of the photos. So in the top left, that's a really famous band called Solid that are on the island, and they're amazing. And you can just see some of the food as well. So please recommend that to your clients when they're coming to stay with us. So on to wellness. Again, this is such a passion of Magdalena, one of the owners. So we have a spa on property. Now this is for body treatment. So we don't have any hydrotherapy circuits or anything like that. This is more of a beauty spa. And one of the highlights is that we have our exclusive body chocolate treatments that are made on property and organically. So they're so pure and fresh. You could literally take the chocolate off of your arm and eat it if you wanted to. It's that pure and organic. So the chocolate treatments we're really, really famous for. And then we have our Sankalpa Yoga Studio. Now this is wonderful. The owner, Magdalena, decided that she wanted to bring a yoga studio to the property. She really has a passion for wellness. And she literally drew this on a piece of paper and then had it designed and made. And she really just had this passion for it. So it's just above the gym. So we do have a small gym underneath with some equipment in there. And as you come up the stairs, you're almost in like a treetop house. And you can see here, it's just so calming because there are no windows on the front of this. So it's such an open space. You can hear the sea, you can hear the wind, and it's a really relaxing atmosphere. And of course, you get 2 classes per person per stay for free as an added value when you're staying at True Blue. You haven't got to be an expert. I tried this for the first time last year. I had never done yoga before in my life, and it was an all level, class experience. And you will find Magdalena there every morning as well, enjoying class with you. And I think there's something so special about the owner actually coming to enjoy yoga with her guests, in the mornings. That's really, really special. So on to water sports. I touched on this briefly already. You can just see a few more images here though. So paddleboards, hobby cats, kayaks, and we have the snorkeling equipment as well. We've also partnered with Aquanauts, which is a really famous dive company in the States. So they handle all of the diving operations out of the hotel. So obviously this has an additional charge, but if anybody wanted to do their PADI certification, they can do that. We also have a junior PADI certification that the children can do as well. In terms of location, we're on the water and our boats are so close to very, very famous sites. So Flamingo Bay, which is where the underwater sculpture park is about 10 minutes on a boat ride. So anybody that really wants to experience adventure on the water, you can do that. I didn't want to dive, but I wanted to see the underwater sculpture park, so I opted for a snorkel instead. So that is an option for anybody that wants to go to the underwater sculpture park. You don't have to dive to see it because it isn't that far down. And we're really family friendly. So a lot of agents say, do you cater for couples? Do you cater for families? We have a lot of families that stay with us. And I think that is, when Russ and Magdalena purchased the hotel, their daughters were very young. So it's always been in them to create the hotel to be as family friendly as possible. So just to call out some of those things that we obviously have the swimming pool with the shallow areas. We've got a kids playground area as well that's under a shaded canopy. So that's great for the children. We have a separate children's menu in the restaurant. Children under the age of 12 eat for free off of the kids menu when the parents are on all inclusive, and up to 2 children under the age of 12 on any meal plan stay for free as well. We do have a kids club that runs Monday to Friday, and children can be in there for up to 3 hours a day. So there's up to 3 hours a day that children can be in the kids club, and the activities are really amazing. I mean, they do things like mermaid tail painting, so they'll put on the mermaid tails, they'll do face painting, and there's lots of really nice activities that the team will do with the children. And on to sustainability, I need to update this because we've since won so many more awards. I won't read through all of these, but we now are a Green Globe Platinum award holder, which means we have been doing amazing things for the planet for 10 years now. So we're very, very proud of that achievement. The hotel continue to do everything they can to make sure that what we're doing is very sustainable and good for the planet. Not only in the hotel, the owners actually go into local schools to give talks to children to educate them on sustainability and how they can do things that are better for the planet. The staff members will spend the weekends cleaning up the rubbish on the beaches. So it really is in the heart of the owners to just really encourage and spread the message of sustainability. And we as a hotel just continue to keep improving that in terms of what we're doing at the hotel. So on to agent rewards. So we have our own rewards program within My Booking Rewards, which is True Blue Bay Rewards. And our incentive is that we offer £10 or 1 free night for any booking that's 7 nights or more. So as well as that, you get access to all the hotel images, the videos, the fact sheets. We have events that happen up and down the country that you'll be the first to hear about and get invited to. Fam trip competitions, literally everything. So once you're a member, you're not going to miss out on any news for True Blue Bay. And where to book us. So we're continuing to, grow with our tour operator partners, but I just wanted to call out the ones that you as travel agents can book through. So we have Gold Medal, Hummingbird Travel, TUI, JTA, Blue Bay Travel, and Instant Travel is where you can find us. Of course, you'll find us through various bed banks, but our, really good relationships and where we're supported in both ways is through these tour operator partners that you can see here. And we also offer agent rates. So we introduced this year onto our rewards program because we really feel that True Blue needs to be seen. It's such a wonderful experience. So we want you all to come and stay with us. So we offer bed and breakfast from about £42 per person per night, which is an amazing rate. And the best thing about that is we give you up to 5 nights on the agent rate. So you can book a maximum of 5 nights. For the rest of the duration, we'll give you a net rate. So it's super affordable. And if you've earned any free nights from making bookings, we'll even let you combine them with the agent rate as well, because we're that generous. So if you're planning a Caribbean visit next year, please think about us. We would love to have you come and stay. So please check out the agent rates on the homepage of TrueBlue Bay Rewards. And on to peaks and what's going on right now with incentives and everything. So our peaks offered started a few days ago, and these are the strongest offers we've ever had. So we're offering up to 4 nights free and a 10% discount. So the rates that we have out in the market at the moment are really attractive. So the book window on that goes all the way to the 31st of Jan, and it's pretty much for all of next year travel, just cutting off that festive season. And in terms of agent incentives, we've decided to double those rewards. So for any 7 night booking that you make, you can earn £20 or 2 free nights. So it'll be a really easy way to rack up some free nights and use the agent rate with that incentive as well. So the book window on that is, I should say, the 31st of January, I think. I'll double check. But it's for all travel window. And by being even more generous, I'm sure you've all heard of the Peak Award Performance Awards that happens every year with My Booking Rewards. So agents who make a booking have the chance to win a VIP place to come and sit with us at the Peak Awards, and one lucky agent will win a 7 night stay at TrueBlue Bay as well. So we've got lots to give. Please, recommend us to your clients, and if you do make a booking, please remember to log it so that we can incentivize you. And in a nutshell, because I really could talk about this hotel all day, that is TrueBlue Bay. So does anybody have any questions? I don't know if any came in, Monty, any questions?
Not yet, but could you go back to the agent rates so they can take another look at what they are?
Yeah. Let me
If
just
you have
reshare
any
my.
questions for Jade, you can put them in the chat or you can put them in the Q&A section, and we'll make sure to cover all of your inquiries.
Just share that. But if they sign up to TrueBlue Bay Rewards, once you're logged in, as soon as you log in on the right-hand side of the homepage, you're going to see this big agent rate button. So yeah, just sign up if you're not a member and just make sure you go and take a look.
Perfect. Okay, we have one question. Can you offer taxi service for those that attend Carnival?
I don't know, because that's a crazy busy time for the hotel. Everyone's like crazy, but I can find out. I mean, we do offer a set. We're actually going to be introducing free airport transfers for next year. That's a standard added value. We're not quite there yet. And obviously we do have our own electric vehicles that can take guests to where they are. In Carnival, however, I'm not so sure the hotel will cope with that, but I will ask the question.
Okay, and we're gonna send all of Jade's details and the recording of the presentation, so you can always reach out later and ask more questions or answer questions. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think there's any more questions.
No more questions. I just wanted to really
Anything
briefly
else?
summarize before we move on to the quiz question. Just to summarize with TrueBlue, it really is great for those that just want that authentic Caribbean experience with a wonderful family-run option. And like I said, at the moment with our offers, it really is an attractive price. So please recommend us. And if you need any support, please reach out to me. I would be more than happy to help.
Thank you so much, Jade. That presentation was beautiful. And I don't know, I just get like a sense of like feeling cozy, like that family focus and the fact that the owners built this thinking about their own family. It just makes it feel so authentic and beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
And now we're gonna do the trivia part of the webinar. So everybody make sure that your chat is set to everyone, and Jade is gonna ask one question. Whoever answers fastest and correctly is gonna get 10 extra entries to the prize draw for our webinar today. So Jade, what is your question?
Okay, is everyone ready? So my question is, please could you tell me one of the added values that is included as standard when making a booking to TrueBlue? That was fast. Carolyn, yes. Yoga and hashtag twice a week, yes. Well done.
Well done,
Yeah, so that
Carolyn.
was Karen Ellis. But well done, everybody. You were listening. And that's what I hope that you guys remember, because some of the tour ops, like I said, they don't really promote that. You'll see the bed and breakfast and you'll see all inclusive. If you remember those amazing benefits, it's just extra perks for your clients, right?
Exactly. Thank you so much, Jade, and thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. We hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you very soon.
Yes. Thank you for having me, and thanks everyone. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.